What's poppin', T Squad? It's me, Color Me Pynk, and I am here with this week's All Tea All Shade, The Shy Season 6, Episode 1 review. So happy about this new season. It looks like it's going to be a really good one. So the episode begins with Emmett and Kiesha in the bed trying to do the Oochie Wally Wally Oochie Bang Bang, but he can't finish. And she like, can you come on? The kids start banging at the door, and he want to make them wait, and she like, no, I'm not gonna make them wait cause you can't finish. Like, you be a deadbeat dad on your own time, but we don't do that around here, especially not with my kid nor with yours. So she is annoyed with him and got that whole attitude. And I'm guessing this stems from the fact that he's working with Douda and making these decisions that will, affect both of their lives, not just his. So Trig is nervous about not winning the campaign. And so who is that? I think his name is Quincy, the guy that works with him, is trying to figure out ways so he can, have a viral moment and all of this so he can gain more votes and stuff like that. And Marcus is sleeping with Tiara, who was faking last season of being Trig's girlfriend. And Gemma is awakened by them doing the Oochie Wally Oochie Bang Bang, and Tiara calling his name and calling him daddy and stuff. And Gemma was like, we are not about to play these games up in this house. No, we are not. So when he come down for breakfast, Gemma already in the kitchen. She just looking at him like, you're nasty. And so she said, I'm the only woman in this house that should be calling you daddy. And his face just went red. He was so embarrassed. And I was like, you should be. You should be. So Kevin moved into his own apartment because, he got sick of his mama and them trying to tell him what to do and wondering where he was getting his money from, child. But now he gonna realize real quick how it is to have his own place and how much responsibility it is. Shad is starting to see the cracks in his relationship with old girl because he's not currently working right now. And she be making comments about her house, my house, this, that, and the third. And he looking like, okay, yeah, this don't feel like a home to me. It just feel like I'm in your space, taking up space. Then we see Douda, who picks Emmett up as Emmett is on his way to Smokey's, but Emmett was looking like, what you doing here, Willis? Like, why you outside waiting on me with your goons? Like, what's going on? Like, he was real concerned and real scared. But Douda ends up taking him to a custom suit tailor and buys him this really nice suit because Emmett was like, I can't afford this. He was like, I got you. You know what I'm saying? Every man needs to own a really nice suit. And he tells Emmett that you're an investment. And I was like, child, in more ways than one, because you can't trust nothing that Douda say, child. And y'all don't know, I'm in love with Douda. I'm in love with the actor that plays Douda, honey. That man is a specimen. Yes, God almighty. So when they're in the suit place, his little right-hand man, Douda right-hand man, who was fine also, by the way, pull out his gat and was like, hold that for a minute while he was trying on his suit. And Emmett is once again reminded who he's in business with and how dangerous this man is. And now he up here holding the strap with his fingerprints and stuff all on it. And I'm like, boy, if you don't get out of that right now, Kiesha tried to tell your butt, like, what are you doing? So Trig campaign analysis, the Quincy dude says that he needs a viral moment to give voters on his side. But he like, I'm not trying to do no viral moments and stuff like this. Corny. Kevin goes to his mama house, y'all, because he's realizing how expensive it is and costly it is to live on your own. So he go over to his mama house in the kitchen, grabbing paper towels, grabbing milk, grabbing corn and all types of stuff. And they was like, nah, bro. You wanted to move out. You need to buy your own stuff. And he was like, well, I paid my rent and I did this, that, and the third. And plus I need a car. And they was like, oh, now you realize. But they was nice and let him take his little bag of groceries on home too, or whatever. So Jake's clothing line is doing really, really well, and Jimmy is helping him out with it and telling him he needs a better system as far as keeping up with his shirts and things like that. And he was like, well, that's what I got you for. She was like, I'm not getting paid for this, bruh. But I'm really liking their relationship, him and Gemma's. They're really, really cute together. So Marcus meets up with Tiara and tells her that, Gemma overheard them. And she was like, okay. And he was like, what, you don't care? She was like, she grown. Didn't she just have a pregnancy scare last year? And excuse me, but I would have been like, who you talking to? That ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Just because she having sex don't mean nothing. Like, what? Who you talking to? That's still my child. And you can tell she one of them chicks that maybe didn't have siblings or whatever, but she's very icy and kind of cold-hearted. And I don't know. I don't like her, Bernie, because, girl, who you talking to? So she was like, maybe some of this tension will be cut if you stop being a punk and introduce me to her. How about that? Instead of treating me like, I'm just a jump off. I'm just a sneaky link. So he's standing like, okay, well, maybe that is something that I need to do. But after that comment, I wouldn't be introducing her to nobody. So Kiesha expresses her thoughts to a teacher where she's trying to work at this school about one of the young boys in class. When the teacher was trying to get him to read in front of everybody, he refused to and opted to go in timeout instead. So Kiesha was telling the teacher that, young boys often don't want to read in front of the class because fear of being embarrassed, messing up, not being able to read correctly. And the teacher basically tell her, like, calm down, fall back. I've been doing this way longer than you. And I would think that if you're trying to get a job, you will learn how to bide your tongue. Because Kiesha was saying, she wanted to be able to express herself wherever she worked at. And, the lady kind of got snappy instead of taking constructive criticism and maybe listening to somebody, because it don't matter how long you've been on a job. You can still always learn something from somebody, and you should always continue to be learning and growing with the times that you are in. So Douda tries to recruit Rob, played by Iman Shumpert, to get more money. Because remember, Rob was Douda's boss nephew. But remember, Douda powered him with the blicky last season. And Rob low-key know that Douda was the one that did it. So he was like, when you born rich, you don't really trip off money like that. Like, the money I'm getting now is cool for my life. I ain't trying to do no more than that. But of course, Douda don't want to take, no for an answer. And he offers him 15% of all of his weed profits. And Rob was like, well, that is more than my uncle was hitting me with. I bet. And so he makes an agreement with him. And mind you, before he agreed, Douda had compared him to Emmett and was talking about how Emmett getting on and this, that, and the third. And he was like, don't compare me to her. And Douda was like, oh, yeah, because you hitting his baby mama. Okay. So that's already putting Rob in this competition state towards Emmett. But I hope by the end of this season, they'll realize that they both being played by Douda and join up together to take him out, because somebody got to take Douda out. Even though I love him and I don't want to see him go, but he is a menace to society and he need to be put down, honey. So Kiesha ends up getting a young boy to read to her, and he's an excellent reader. And she asked him why he didn't feel comfortable reading in front of the class, and he was like, he said he didn't feel like he could express the fact that he doesn't like reading in front of others to his teacher. And that's a thing with teachers where they don't sit down and try to learn their students, learn what makes them tick, learn what scares them, instead of just getting an attitude and be like, well, since you didn't want to do it, get out on my face, go sit down, go to the principal. Like, take your time with each child, because every child is different. And the teacher ends up ear hustling and seeing that she actually knew what she was talking about. And I was like, you go, girl, you go, Kiesha. Because, us Kieshas is very smart. We're intuitive people. So after that, Emmett has, wait a minute, where was I at? Oh, Emmett is doing the grand opening of the redone Smokies. It looks great on the inside. And he then copped him a new Benzo, honey. He riding dirty, honey. He getting paper. And Douda ends up paying him in advance a whole lot of bread. And I'm like, dude, you don't even understand. You gonna end up owing this man so much money, owing him. He wants to put you in the position of having to owe him so he can, basically put you in a chokehold. You know what I'm saying? Because a dude like that's gonna add interest, gonna make you do stuff that you're not comfortable with doing. So Kiesha arrives to the restaurant and looking at Douda like, ugh, get out of my face. Like, she know he is not no good, and she makes it known to him that she ain't feeling him. Emmett tells her that they have another location in New York City that they're going to open, and she was like, we ain't even seen it yet. He was like, he going to take us out on a jet, and she just looking at him like, dude, do you even realize what you saying? Like, this man making you all these promises and giving you all this money. He is distracting you from the reality of this situation. But she says she gonna support her man, my man, but she know what's real, and Emmett needs to listen to his woman. Papa has his eye on one of the new waitresses at Smokies, and Bakari hating himself, telling him like it ain't gonna happen, like she ain't trying to check for you. But lo and behold, she is checking for him, and Bakari was just being a hater. And Papa got a new love interest, cute little girl too. And they end up exchanging numbers or DMs or whatever. So Shad asks Darnell up at Smokies, does he know anybody who's hiring right now? Because as of right now, his lady is the one paying for everything. And as a man, that has to be a blow to his ego. It probably makes him feel inadequate, feeling like a hoe, like I'm being taken care of by a woman, and it make him look like a kid. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what am I bringing to the table? And he was like, I keep my ear out for you. Trig come up there, and here go Quincy, make a speech. And he was like, okay, all right. So he stand up and make a speech about Smokies in the community, and end up running into Papa, and soda is spilled all over his shirt. But little does he know it was done on purpose by Quincy, because he had somebody in the back filming Trig while he was taking off his shirt to get that like sex appeal vote from the ladies. Smart idea. Because he was none the rare. Tracy is having wine in the middle of the afternoon with her girlfriends and everything, and decides that she gonna focus on herself instead of focusing on these men, because after dealing with Douda child, you need a moment of clarity and meditation. But some of the girls was like, they don't want her to just push love away, because marriage is a good thing and relationships are a good thing, but she's adamant on just focusing on herself because she don't feel like she need a man to be happy. And I agree with that. You don't need a man to be happy. Is a man a bonus, a great thing that can add to your life? Yes, of course, but it ain't the end all be all. Bakari ended up telling Papa to slow down when he was thinking about DMing old girl from the restaurant, because he had already followed her, liked like 18 of her pictures. So he like, dude, calm down. Slow it down. I just want to get to know you. And now in this case, I can somewhat agree with Bakari, like, chill, fam, like chill. So Emmett ends up buying Tiffany a brand new whip after she saw his Benz and was saying she need a car. And he was like, I ain't your man no more. Yeah, you got a hold right there. Like, ask him to buy you a car. And she was like, but you still my baby father, and this, that, and the third. So he ends up going and buying this girl a brand new Altima off the lot, because Douda told him to take care of the people around him. And you could tell Rob kind of felt some type of way, like, dang, Douda did tell me he was over here doing the dang on thing, and I don't want him to think that he still got to take care of Tiffany when she over here with me. Like, I got to step my game up. You could tell that was what type of time he was on. So Shad is still lusting after Tierra, because they each other sneaky link, and that's who she really needs to be with. But in public, that wouldn't look good for her, because he's not a man of stature and of means. He's an ex-con and all of these different things. And his lady ended up almost walking in on him as he's looking at pictures of her. And he expresses to her that he feels like he's not doing enough, because everybody around him is getting to the bag but him. And, she tries to sympathize with him and tells him, in due time and all this, that, and the third. But it really honestly didn't help much because they're total opposites. He wanted to watch Menace to Society that night. She wanted to watch The Devil Wears Prada. She don't like him smoking in the house and hanging with his friends. Like, they're just totally two different people. So Douda has his guys stealing whips because he has a chop shop. And they end up stealing the old school. And one of the dudes was real smart with picking the old school. And at first I thought that Douda wasn't going to like the fact that he was like acting like he knew too much. And I thought he was going to clip him then, but he didn't. He actually respected it. So on the night of Trigg's councilman results, he wanted his girlfriend to be there. He's involved with a trans woman, and she was like, I'm gonna sit this out because I don't want to come to the event because of all the transphobia I've been getting online from people and stuff like that. And he was like, you can't worry about what other people think and feel, just block them. And she was like, no, it's coming left and right, like you don't get it. And you could tell it hurt his feelings, but he had to understand and respect her mental health and her safety at the end of the day. So Trigg ends up seeing the video of him taking his shirt off has gone viral, and it has put him in the lead in the running for becoming councilman. So he like, okay, I'm fine with it now. So Tiara and Gemma end up meeting finally, and Gemma is not feeling her. She sees the little fake girl act that she's putting on, and they go heads up over her daddy because both of them feel like they should be number one in his life. And he refuses to put his foot down when it comes to either of them. And it was crazy to me that Tiara even thought that she was comfortable enough to tell him to choose her over his own daughter. Now, granted, Gemma is becoming older, but she's still his child. She ain't even graduated high school yet. Girl, have several. So Kiesha get mad at Emmett for buying Tiffany a brand new car without talking to him about it. But he says, I don't feel like I have to because it's my money. And she was like, I thought we were supposed to be doing things together. And I get it because him and Tiffany have a long history. You know what I'm saying? Tiffany had just tried to come on to him last season. And it would put me in a position of, do you still want to be with her? Like, she got a man, so why are you buying her a car? If anything, you should be buying me a car. Like, what's going on? So she was like, he was like, it don't matter though, I'm getting money. She was like, I don't care nothing about the money. If that was the case, we need a bigger house. And he was like, all right, I'll do it. She was like, see, you're not getting the point though. But he feels like if he gets her a bigger house, that'll make things better between them. And it's not. It's just going to put him in more and more debt where he's going to need and continue to need money from Douda. So, Trigg is announced as the new councilman, and his lady shows up to support him, and we were all like, yay. Emmett then, after arguing with Kiesha, leaves her at home and links up with Douda. And Douda shows him how to smoke a cigar, and in the midst of them talking, one of his men is chewing, smacking real loud. And he was like, dude, can you like chill out on the smacking? I'm trying to have a conversation over. And dude was like, I ain't smacking loud. And Douda looked at him like, oh, okay, you gonna talk back to me and tell me what you ain't doing after I told you what you are doing? Oh, okay. We're gonna see how that work out for you. And I was like, all right. So you got to know how to read the room. And Emmett wasn't reading the room because as soon as he gave him that look, I would have been like, you know what? I got to get home. I got to go smoke a brisket. Like, I got to get up out of here. So Emmett ends up bringing up how Kiesha want a bigger house because he got Tiffany a car. And Douda was like, I'll hook you up with my realtor. And he was like, man, I can't do that. I'm not financially where I need to be. And Douda kind of get irritated, like, dude, you got to step it up. Like, stop being when it comes to things, like, you got to just step out and get to the bag. And Douda was like, I'll make sure you make enough money to take care of all your women. And he was like, all my women, I'm only got one woman. He was like, your baby mamas as well. They're all your women. They're all going to have to be taken care of. He was like, I got like 3 of them that I'm taking care of because he do got Tracy and his wife and I guess somebody else child. So he kind of like sitting there like, dang, like he is kind of like telling the truth. Next thing we know, Douda gets up and go and pow smack her in the head for talking back and not stopping smacking. And he act like ain't nothing happened. He was like, Emmett, hand me my coat. And Emmett looking like, did he just? Yeah, he did. And so Douda was like, all right, have a good night. I'll see y'all later. And he leaves. And I'm like, yeah, bruh, it's time for you to get you and your family and get out of Dodge ASAP. Sell that car, sell Tiffany car, child, sell the house, sell Smokies, honey, and get out of Dodge and leave Chicago immediately, because this is not a good look, honey, and this is not a good look for you. But I hope and pray that him and Rob come together to take down Douda, and probably it should be him, Trig, and Rob that do it. So after that, Douda goes to see Tracy, who's, still trying to be on her, I don't need no man, I don't want no man, I'm working on myself type time. And so he was like, I miss you. I miss you, girl. And she was like, I miss you. And she get to kissing him, and he break her back. And I was like, I wish I was Tracy, Lord, because I wouldn't have put up no fight. So the next morning, she wake up in bed alone to a text message from him saying, I enjoyed last night, hit me up if you need anything else. And she see that she back in his web once again. And after that, she ends up watching the infamous clip of Eartha Kitt talking about compromising in a relationship and what for. What I need to compromise for. You better get with it or on, okay? And so hopefully that will give her some type of empowerment to stand up for herself and really leave Douda alone. But I think she gonna end up having to learn the hard way. I don't think Tracy gonna survive. I really honestly don't, because everybody been warning her about him and she just will not leave him alone. But overall, I'm going to give the first episode of this season of The Chi, I'm going to give it an A. It was really, really good. I'm loving where all the characters are going. Everything as far as the plot line and stuff seemed very believable, relatable. I think this is going to be a really, really, really good season. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about the first episode back. Make sure to thumbs up this video, like and subscribe, and hit the notification bell button, you guys. I love you immensely, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.